Hey team, and welcome. I'm your host, Carrie, creator of Mother Life, your destination for all things real talk and parenting. This is the IRL group chat, where we talk about the wild balancing act of pursuing careers and passions while also doing our best to show up for our kids. Join me every week as I sit down with some badass parents in my closet and we talk about their careers, kids, and relationships and all of the weird shit that comes up when you're trying to balance the seemingly impossible. The millennial parent has been the subject of great observation and pontification, that we overly cater to our children's lives and interests, often at the cost of our own. On the other hand, when we see people living their lives with their kids as if they don't have kids, well, we judge that too. Certainly, in America today, it is hard to get the balance right. At times, trying to navigate it all can feel heavy. What things do I want to bring my kids along to? How do I want to spend time in their world? For me, at least, becoming a parent has been a constant evolution in how I want to live life with my kids. And with every passing day, month, year, I feel myself moving out of their world and into the world with them. Do you see the distinction there? Talking to today's guest had me reframing this whole thing in my head. What's theirs? What's mine? Just by being very her and inviting her kids to join in on her inherent sense of whimsy and fun and also the getting shit done of it all. Puno is the founder of iLoveCreatives, an edutainment, did I say that right, Puno? An edutainment platform, digital trade school for creatives looking to sharpen their creative skills in a fun and engaging way. She's also the executive creative director of iLoveCreatives Studio, a full-service design studio that puts all of that fun and crazy multidisciplinary skill set to good use with their clients, like Dead Cool, Cosmo's Sex After 60 issue, Paris Hilton, and many others. Puno's good vibes and creative energy is infectious, and while she's the first to admit that parenting her two young kids and owning a business with her husband isn't exactly a walk in the park, she also channels a pure and true version of herself when she's showing up for her kids. I've said it before and I will say it again. Puno is someone whose brain I would love to spend some time in. It's a technicolored dream world in there where the line between their world and our world is decidedly blurred in a way that seems like a very good idea. Enjoy, share with a friend, and discuss. Like and review, team. Let's do this.
3, 2, 1, testing,
Okay.
testing.
Beautiful.
Pop, pop, pop.
Welcome to the closet.
Thanks.
Is there anything you don't want to talk about?
I can't think of anything right now.
Okay.
I can't think of anything.
If anything comes up, you can also just tell me.
I don't even usually tell people when they say my name wrong.
How do you say your name?
Well, like people will say Puno dos Tres. And I'm like, yeah, that was not my actual last name. So
Yeah, it isn't your actual
no,
last name.
But
Is your actual last name Puno?
yes.
We're going to get into that.
Research. But yeah, a lot of people think that my last name is Dos Tres. And I'm like, no, that's a username. That's Spanish.
Well, what's funny is when you do read it,
Yeah.
it reads Dos Tres.
Right.
Like,
But Puno dos Tres.
right. But it requires a level of engagement.
All right.
We're ready to go. This is kind of fun for me because I know a lot about you professionally from the internet.
The LinkedIn.
I know about your general vibe because you're very funny and you have a very good energy about you. So I'm excited about that. But I don't know a lot about Puno the person.
Puno the person?
Who is she? Let's find out.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So where were you born?
Oh.
Are you like
that kind of person stuff?
Yes, like
Houston,
where
Texas.
Okay, so we love a Texan on the pod.
I grew up with a lot of Filipinos in Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, I think 1975, immigration, a lot of Vietnamese went to Texas, Houston, same. I don't know. I heard it was like same climate.
Same climate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So there's like a huge Vietnamese, Chinese, Filipino, not Koreanish,
Korean-ish.
not really.
Sorry, Koreans.
Not a lot of Korean. I'm half Korean, so it's like we're not really there, but there's like a ton of Filipinos there.
Okay, got it. Okay, so you grew up in Houston. What's growing up in Houston like? Were you in like a sort of suburban environment, like
Yeah.
white picket fence type shit, or
More like track home.
Yeah.
Track home, 1980s track home, cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Yeah, middle class, just chill.
And
suburbs.
did your parents grow up in Texas as well?
No, my dad grew up in the Philippines and then moved when he was like 17, 16 or something. Mom moved from Korea.
Okay.
So like early 20s too.
Got it.
Yeah.
And they both, with their families, moved to Texas.
Just my dad.
Okay.
My mom was solo.
Okay.
Solo dolo all the way. Lone wolf.
And then, so how did they end up in Texas?
I don't know how I forgot what happened with my dad. My dad, I think that there was just a lot of family moving to Houston.
Yeah.
And so that's how he did. My mom, I don't know. I have no idea.
We'll find out sometime. Hey, Mom,
Yeah.
if you're out there.
I've been asking.
Yeah.
Yeah. She'll tell me one day.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, there are those like funny things, but it's like, oh, we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Or like it's either too painful or too confusing, or they think that we wouldn't understand. And so they just are like, I'm going to take this to my grave.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not talking about Bruno.
That's, I was going to make that reference. I guess we all have kids here. It feels like we don't talk about Bruno.
Yeah. We don't. He's in the walls with the rats.
But some of this stuff, as we are all now parents and thinking about what we tell our kids and what we don't tell our kids,
I'm going to tell everything.
Right. But I mean, you like age appropriate, but for instance,
true. Yeah.
I thought, you're like, sure.
Oh, right.
But like before my grandmother passed away at like 94 or something, I just assumed this woman was built like an ox, like super healthy. When she died, it's because one day she was like, I'm done now, and peaced out. Like she was driving until the day she died.
Yeah.
Just totally. And so I just assumed on my mom's side, like a great bill of health all around. And around that time when, in her final year or so, I was talking about some of my health stuff. I said, oh, I did this genetic screening and I found out this and that. She said, oh, that makes sense. Like, you've had a couple of relatives that died from ovarian cancer. I'm like, cool. Whoa. Maybe we should fucking share this stuff.
Yeah.
So that, people can, like not even drama stuff, just like basic shit.
Basic, like how am I going to die kind of thing. Yeah.
Or like maybe I could prevent that.
Right. I know. Okay, which one did you do?
I did, like when you're
23andMe?
No. Well, I did do that also, but I just PSA delete your data now that they're in bankruptcy. Oh, but right. I did one when you like go to have kids. Oh, often you do genetic screening.
Yes.
So the first time I did it with my son, they tested for 200 things, and then when I went to do it with my daughter, they tested for 500 things.
What?
Because that's how fast all of this stuff is moving.
Oh.
So they could just test for more stuff.
Yeah. When was that? I didn't get that.
And I was like, wait, how old is your dude?
He's gonna be 1 year. Maybe I opted out because I already did it.
What do you mean you are?
I opted out of the hereditary thing. I don't even remember being pregnant. Like, I guess it was such a phase that it was. I think I opted out of that.
Was your philosophy like, no matter what this kid is, I'm gonna have this kid?
I just didn't know that because I had a kid a year earlier, or like 2 years earlier than that, so I didn't think it was gonna be that different of a test.
Oh, I see. So you did do it the first time.
I did.
Got it. Okay.
Second time, I was just like, well, I got to take another test. I got to go to that other building.
Right.
So I didn't do that.
I think I legitimately had that conversation with my doctor. I was like, I just fucking did this.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, I think I had moved doctors, and she's like, I think they test for different stuff now, and you're geriatric. Thanks, doc. So I don't know. How old are you?
Geriatric.
Yeah. So
I'm 40.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm 39.
Yeah.
So I have no idea. But
okay.
Anyway, very educational.
I missed out. Boo. I want 500 disease tests.
Do you though?
I do. Yeah, I want to know if I'm going to die from ovarian cancer.
That's fair. That's fair. Maybe. Right. If jet lag doesn't kill you first.
I know. I think I'm going to trip. I'm very clumsy.
Like a trip and fall.
Yeah,
dead.
Absolutely. Or like trip and fall and then like, oh, my hip, and then go down from there.
Like, oh, okay. Yeah. Like just a gentle decline into oblivion.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
All right. So
she's still kicking.
Now, note to Puno's friends and family, if you could start upholstering walls, floors, make better aesthetic choices. Maybe
Yeah.
a single story house for her.
I mean, all the childproofing that we do, like what
it's best for you.
Yeah, what's best for me. And also, I feel like by the time that we're that old, we're gonna have Baymax. You know, he's gonna big robot, health robot, nurse. That's gonna happen for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you need to hope though is that he maybe catches you falling.
Yes.
Before.
Yeah.
Your
So what I'm practicing now is whoa, whoa, so that he can hear me.
Sure. Okay. We're gonna just. What is it, life alert? We need to get you a life alert now.
Like, oh, her arms are flailing again. No, I'm dancing.
Yeah, I don't know if a nursing robot could.
I think it
could keep up with you.
I could program him to dance with me, and then we'll just
see. She can't help like come up with a commercial for a product or like an ad
for Adobe.
Yeah, in her head.
Man, when I was in Tokyo, there's like this one ad in the taxi that was for Adobe Acrobat. It was just so funny because I'm like, who does ads for Adobe Acrobat except me? But,
you.
Yeah, but it was just really funny to see the Japanese version of it.
How was it?
A lot of clicking. I don't know. I would have done it differently.
Of course you would.
Yeah.
She loves creatives. Okay, wait. So we're in Houston. We have no idea how your mom got there. Like, for all we know, off an alien ship into Houston.
That would be sick. I actually didn't send that scenario to her, but I should. I have my top, but that was definitely. I just assumed it was so bad.
Right.
But alien, that makes a lot of sense. You don't want me to know.
Okay, so maybe an alien, maybe not.
Yeah.
But we have dad. We 100% know how he got there.
Yeah.
Mom, less clear.
Yeah.
And growing up, do you have siblings?
No. Well, I have half sisters now. They're 20 years different.
Okay.
Younger.
All right. So, but you in your childhood, you were
Only
on your
child. Mm-hmm.
And what was growing up like for you? Did you have strict parents or easygoing parents?
I would say middle of the road.
Yeah.
Probably like how I am now. I'm realizing how strict I am. Like the more I'm exposed to other daycares and like preschools, and I'm like, that's strict. I'm like, oh, okay.
Like, give me an example.
Like Montessori. I didn't know what Montessori was.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, they do tasks and they need to like put things away and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I do that all the time at home.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, put your stuff away before we move on to the next thing. Or can you like put your dishes up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Is that strict?
I mean, I think there's free range, there's like the
Right.
I'll do everything for you kind of thing, I guess.
I think those are two different things.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't.
Yeah.
I would not consider that strict. I feel like you're enabling your child with tools.
Or disciplined?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know the names of the things.
that's fine. They
but-
change often.
Right. But I watched that one reality TV show. What's it called? With all the parents. And they have like 12 different parenting styles.
What is this show?
So good.
I really want to do at some point like a live reaction thing where I watch TV shows about either parenting, either like old shows like Wonder Years,
Yes.
and comment from that lens.
Oh, love that.
Or watch whatever the fuck this show is.
Yes, this reality show. Okay, it's like 12 different families and 12 different parenting types. They started just making them up at some point.
Sure.
And then they put them in different scenarios.
Okay.
So like get your kid to dive off a really high diving board. Or your kid's at the park and there's a stranger that's going to come up to them and ask them if they want
interesting.
candy. And like, what does your kid do?
Fuck.
It's so good.
Oh, that's so interesting.
It's
okay.
so good.
We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah.
I'm personally extremely curious.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, there are a lot of different schools of thought. And I think at least for my son, as he's gotten older, I don't totally understand like really crazy boy energy. Like penis this and like web shooters and jumping off of stuff and like everything. We're not gun people, but he is fascinated by everything being a gun. And like, it's just like a whole universe I don't understand.
Yeah.
But like if we're in public and he's potentially putting himself in a dangerous situation, like a crowded place, and he's going really far away from me,
Yeah.
I will yell like in a way that sounds like I'm not happy. Like, get your...
Yeah. What do you... Yeah.
I'm not swearing at him. I'm not calling him names, but I'm like, I'm pissed and you need to be with me.
Yeah.
Like, we've talked about this.
Yeah.
And I recently did that. We were at the zoo. It was extremely busy. And I just was like, hey, get back here. Like, you need to be with me.
Yeah.
He's 4.5. And I was with some people who just looked at me like, okay.
Oh.
And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. Your kid's like perfectly by your side.
I need to tell him to get here now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I got to use the voice.
We've practiced stranger danger. We've practiced what do you do when you get lost.
Yeah.
But it's a very different thing to practice it and have to do it. And I'd rather not find out today.
Right. Exactly. Or you don't want to leash it quite yet.
I know. Although I do have a new respect for the people with the leashes.
I get it.
When you don't have kids, you're like, what kind of fucking animals
I
put
know.
leashes on their kids? And then I'm like, I see you.
I see you. I get
feel
it.
you.
Your kid is the one that needs the leash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it.
I get it.
I'm not, and that's the whole thing, I guess, is like this has to be a judgment-free zone, obviously within reason, but like, you gotta leash your kid, you gotta leash your kid. It is what it is. I mean, if they're like 14, then maybe,
weird.
No.
Yeah, a little weird.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so Puno's growing up alone. Your middle of the road sort of upbringing in terms of what your parents were like. Were you like a wild child? Were you a diligent student?
Diligent student. Diligent student became wild child.
At what age?
Like puberty. So 11.
Okay, diligent student up until 11. Your
11.
academic career, what happened after 11?
Well, always diligent student.
Remained.
Always knew.
It's just your extracurricular activities.
Yeah. I feel like school was easy to like be good at.
Yeah.
Especially when you're an only child. But, well, at least, I don't know, because I was bored at home all the time. So I was like, let's just do this. We didn't have TV or internet until later. So,
yeah.
But yeah, then I became a bad kid because
what does that look like?
I mean, it was pretty bad. I went to like raves. I snuck out of the house.
At what age? Like teenage years?
No, like 12.
Okay. That is
like 11, 12. I was a bad, like I'm ready for my kids to do the worst.
Right.
Because I was pretty bad.
You're ready for the karmic behavior?
Yeah. And I'm like, I think the main thing, which is interesting, is that when I got older, my parents got divorced after that. Not because of me, but no, they got divorced and then I became a bad kid because I took advantage that they didn't talk to each other. That's right.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah. So they weren't talking to each other. So I could say that I was doing certain things. And then nobody was like also talking to me because they were trying to figure their lives out separately.
Yeah.
So I was just like more isolated and then more bored. And so then I would like, I think it like started out with like stealing like money and getting coins and then my entrepreneurship kind of kicked in and I started thinking, I could steal stuff at the mall and I could sell it. And so I did that for a little bit. Then I got caught.
Sure.
And then, anyways, I just did a bunch of bad stuff. I still was a good kid though. Like
right.
In general, like I know what I was doing and I like know I was a good kid. Yeah. I was just testing boundaries hard.
Did you see the divorce coming?
Yeah.
Like they weren't getting along.
No, yeah.
I was also a child of divorce, by the way, but different. I was 2, so I don't remember any of it.
Okay, there, yeah.
That's like a totally
They should have done it at 2.
Right.
Yeah. But my mom waited until she thought it was old enough. And then, like, by the time that she did it, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
About time.
Right. You were like, thanks.
Yeah.
Like, it's so interesting for now that we're on this side and, like, friends and stuff are starting to get divorced.
Yeah.
And thinking about, like, we stay together for the kids, we separate for the kids. Like, everybody has a different, instead of thinking, like, I have to do what's best for me and then thus it will be what's best for my kid, which I think is now a little bit more what our generation is trying to think about it.
Yeah.
But growing up, it felt like if people were staying together when they shouldn't have been, they thought they were doing the best thing for their kids.
Right. And I also wonder, too, because my mom was working as well. So would it have been just too hard to... Logistically.
Yeah.
So, like, when she says I'm doing it for you, I'm wondering if there was also this level of, like, I just couldn't... There's no way.
Yeah.
I feel like
That makes sense too.
Because I was like 11. I was still young.
Yeah.
You know, I was
but you're
just-
like, you could be like a latchkey kid at that age.
Yes, exactly.
Where like you could let yourself in after school.
Right.
Make a snack, watch
Right.
TV.
Right.
Go to raves. Steal shit from the mall, whatever.
Yeah.
Long to-do list.
Yes.
Do your homework.
So many things.
But like obviously there's no coincidence between you becoming a bad girl in air quotes at this time.
Yeah.
And your parents splitting up. Both you're taking advantage and also you're like, well, I guess if everybody is redefining their lives,
Right.
I
check it out.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Why not? I knew I was just extremely bored. Like,
Yeah.
that was like the underlining thing of just like, ugh, I'm so bored. My parents didn't even have cable. Like, it was just boring.
Yeah.
They didn't really have books at home. Like, it was just extremely
You were
boring.
alone with your thoughts
Exactly.
and schemes.
And schemes. And I had so many good schemes. I was like, let me try this scheme out.
I love that.
Yeah.
And what was the friend scene like?
Friend scene was it was interesting because I was like in the Girl Scouts, so I was like a good girl, and then I hung out with like the Vietnamese crowd, and they were like super bad, and some of them were rich too.
Yeah.
And like our suburbs or our, what is it called? Oh my god.
Neighborhood?
It's not, it's like a thing. I can't remember the name of it.
She's jet lagged, everybody.
I know, I am jet lagged, but I wouldn't remember anyways because doesn't our brain shrink after we have kids?
Probably.
I heard that. But so anyways, our neighborhood was right next to another one that was super rich. And then there was like some bad kids in the rich one, and I hung out with them.
You were like the cool girl from the other side of the tracks.
Yes. But I was also the one I was like the leader. I was definitely like, if there was the bad kid that the parents should be like pissed off about, it was me. Because I was the schemer.
Do you think the parents knew that though?
No.
Because I imagine you with your little Girl Scout outfit could
Yeah.
present very like nicey if you wanted.
Right. My mom figured it out.
Right.
She finally realized. She's like, oh, you're the bad one. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah.
So did your parents start dating after they split up?
Yes. My dad did all sorts of dating. Oh my gosh. So many.
So wait, is he Vietnamese but grew up in the Philippines?
He's Filipino.
He's Filipino.
He's Filipino. And then my mom's Korean.
Okay. So there's no Vietnamese other than in your community.
In my community.
Okay.
Ton of community. Yeah.
Got it.
Ton of wins. Ton of Viet wins.
Got it. Sure. Great. Okay. Okay. So your dad's dating.
Dad's dating lots and lots of women. Lots of women. And he's getting fit, and he's like, he's just like,
He's in his bachelor era.
He's in his bachelor era, and it's really fun, and it's cool because I think he knew he needed to engage with me, and like he needed to like bring me along to stuff. So we basically did everything together. And that's when I stopped being bad, because like there was just activities all the time.
Yeah.
But they were fun. Like he'd be like, okay, let's go try new restaurants, or let's go to, he was like, I'm like into anime now, I think. And so we would just go to stores and like check it out, and like literally very into hobbies, and like just brought me along.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So that was like, I was like, big lesson learned here on that one for me.
Meaning bring your kids along to the stuff that you like and
Yes.
include them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I think like I can see myself doing that when they're a little bit older. Right now, it seems hard to pull it off. People do it all the time. They like bring their kids to Coachella
Right.
at 2 or whatever with the little headphones on.
Right.
Like it's not me.
Yeah.
The idea of that gives me diarrhea. Like that's
Right.
just not me.
Yeah.
I would love for it to be the key that I remind myself is like, if you want to be that person later, you can't forget the shit that you like.
Right.
Right.
Which is hard.
Right.
Because like you're not doing that right now. No.
Yeah. Or it's like I'm doing it when they're at school.
Or just honestly like not being checked out. I think this is the other thing about me is that I like kid shit.
Right.
Like I like Disneyland. I like video games. And that's what my dad liked. My mom likes sitting at Barnes & Noble and reading self-help books, which is not fun for me.
Yeah.
But that is fun for some people.
Yeah.
But it was just like, it's not like, even if my mom was like, yeah, I'm taking you and you're coming along and doing all the things that I'm excited about. It just wasn't
Right. They wouldn't speak to you.
Yeah.
Wouldn't speak to a child.
No. Yeah. Like she liked to work out and she liked to run at the park, which is something I like to do now.
Right.
But I know that my kids are not going to like doing that.
No. Maybe the working out part.
Maybe the working out part. If you ran with them.
Yeah. I mean, my son and my daughter, who's only 18 months, but like they both find when I
Jogging at the park.
just like the working out stuff, like the planks, like that sort of stuff, they do think is very fun.
Yeah.
They're like, wow, I can't.
I'm so strong.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you need a lift ball?
Yeah. I bought my son like little 1 pound weights so that he could sort of do it with me. Cute, but they've been weaponized. They're obviously like just become projectiles.
Oh no!
I basically bought him projectiles, but
you gotta get the Velcro straps.
the bala bands.
Yeah, the balla bands.
That would be safer. Okay, so professionally, what are your parents doing in this time? They're both working.
Both working. Mom's a hairstylist. Dad is a computer programmer.
Interesting. So you have a creative, artistic person, and you have somebody who's very like tech facing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting,
yeah.
Puno.
Yeah. And my mom actually really got into her artistic side when she decided to quit her hairstylist job. So she became a painter.
Wow.
And like this is like 55. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, around that age she decided to quit and moved to Florence and like got her learned how to paint, and like it's really good.
Wow.
Yeah,
we can put a link to her stuff in the show notes.
Yeah, we should do it.
Yeah. Wow.
So she's on that journey. She's really good. She's doing it. Yeah.
So she's still kind of in this discovery to this day, I'm sure, like redefining who she is and what she likes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which I can totally understand. Like just having the space to be able to figure it out.
Well, and she remarried, and her husband is incredibly supportive, and so his job isn't like great in that like he has to travel a lot.
Yeah.
But he's very supportive in her, and that's why she was able to do that.
That's great.
Yeah.
Is that where the half siblings come from?
No,
That's
dad's side.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Dad's side Dad married a Chinese woman from Hong Kong.
Oh, shout out Hong Kong.
Yeah. So, and then I have two siblings. They're really cool, Zoe and Nikki, and they're like 20.
Hi guys.
Yeah.
You're old enough to be listening to this, but you're also not our target demo. But welcome.
They probably would listen to it. I don't know. They're cool.
That's great. Okay, so they've parted ways. You have come back on the straight and narrow. Now that you're spending more time with Dad, you're exploring things that are interesting to you. The friend scene, you're the mischief maker and leader of the group. And through all of this, what is resonating with you and thinking about as you get older? Like, what might I want to do professionally?
I knew my entrepreneurship itch was there. And then also the internet was happening. So yeah.
Bing, 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 bing.
Internet was MySpace, AOL, grew up on that. And I don't know if you remember Z Frank.
No.
He I don't know if he became the owner of BuzzFeed, but he made this website that I loved it. It was like this HTML page with random links that went to just random pages. And then it was just fun. Yeah. Like the internet was like weird.
Yes,
and
it was.
Fun.
Yes.
And like really shitty.
Yeah.
So to the point where it felt like anybody can do it.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I loved the internet from the get-go. And then I just like played on it as much as I could. And I also loved CD-ROMs.
CD-ROMs.
I loved a Carmen Sandiego.
So good.
I was like, yeah.
In the world is Carmen Sandiego.
Mm-hmm.
What a style icon.
Yeah. So styled. Trench.
She
was wearing
timeless.
The trench. Yeah. From
trench
the beginning.
And heels.
Trench and heels. And a good red lip.
Capers.
Yeah.
She was on capers in a trench. Very conspicuous, by the way, Carmen.
Yeah. If you see somebody walking around like that.
Yeah.
that girl's looking for something.
Yeah, memorable. I don't think that's what you were trying to be, but
Yeah.
we found her in the end,
Yeah,
Carmen.
we always
so
did.
what about, like, were you into Oregon Trail?
Not so much downer.
It is. It's like, look, you got dysentery.
Yeah.
Now you're
It's just-
dead.
You're always just fucking up. Like,
Yeah. The oxen have
point of it.
died. You
Yeah.
broke an axle on the river.
yeah. I think also I loved Minesweeper when I finally figured it out.
I don't think I ever figured it out.
Oh
Puno.
man, it's so fun.
Okay. Maybe we can revisit it on
Yeah.
the internet
It's
together
really,
sometime.
you're just like, oh, that makes so much sense why the numbers are there.
I think I just was clicking around a lot, trying to get rid of.
You got halfway there.
Right.
You got halfway there.
Okay,
Yeah.
good to know.
Okay, the numbers mean like that there's that many bombs around it. That's what it is. So if it's a 6, there's 6 bombs around it. So don't click around that.
I had no idea.
Yeah, me neither. And when
That's like a whole childhood wasted. Between that and solitaire.
like, that, 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 that. Oh, I also loved the recorder. Like whatever you would record your voice on.
Yes.
I played with that in a Talkboy all the time. And I would I would say words backwards and then play it forwards.
So, like, who you have become, the seeds were sown early.
Yeah.
There's nothing, like, largely shocking about where we have ended.
No, not at all.
What does one do after high school with these interests?
So I thought UT had a good business school. My parents didn't go to college. So they weren't encouraging, like, they didn't even ask me.
Right.
They figured I knew what was going on or school was going to help me. So like when I started applying, they're like, "Oh, that's good. That's
Right.
good." And then I think I only applied to one school. That was it.
Same.
Oh, you too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I only applied to one. What's interesting about what you said, though, is I think about my husband and I talk about this sometimes. Like, my parents were not involved in my college application process. It was like there was the college counselor at school who basically told me I wasn't going to get into the school I wanted to go to. And I was like, okay, well, it's the only one I'm applying to. So
Yeah.
Jesus, take the wheel, I guess.
Yeah.
But other than her, like, I wasn't really talking to anybody about it. I just was informing my parents of progress or what I was up to. But, like, they weren't, I don't even know if they read the essays or
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
And I think about us as parents and when our kids are going through this,
my God.
surely it's
yeah.
going to be a different kettle of fish. Mm-hmm. Is that the expression?
I'm not
Can of worms? Whatever.
kettle of fish.
Whatever it is. But, you
Let's have
know,
some
some animals in a container. Totally different set of animals and containers.
Well, it's a different generation, so you need a different container.
Yeah, exactly. But I can't fathom having no idea what they're up to. Like, I'm going to have the deadlines in my Google Calendar,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Absolutely. But also, I wonder if I'm even going to. Like, I like college. I like what it gave me, but I also know I didn't need it.
Yeah.
Like, if the internet was a little bit more at the time and someone just told me, you can figure this out, like, another way, and they helped me do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think there's a whole bunch of forces that created an entire generation of self-starter entrepreneurs because we kind of had to be people who graduated around 2007, 2008 with the way of the sort of global financial markets and whatever. Like, you kind of had to figure out your own thing and scrap it together.
Yeah.
And who knows what the world's going to look like moving forward. But I kind of, where I sit now, I imagine that traditional college is going to potentially become a place that is for the extremely privileged to delay being an adult for 4 years. Which, by the way, if I can give that to my kids, I would love to.
That's what I'm saying.
What a gift.
What a gift. And like my sister who just went to RPA, no, what is it? RP, oh my God, Rensselaer or something? In Troy.
Yes.
Troy, New York.
Yes.
RPI? Yes. Anyways, Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. That
Yeah.
sounds right.
Yeah.
And she's going there and I'm like, ooh, that's so fancy. And I'm like, you know, in my mind, I'm like, what are you going to do there? Like, how's that actually going to help? But then she's telling me all this cool stuff that she gets to do at school. And I'm
Yeah.
like, cool, just
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I think there's going to be an increase in vocational training and people teaching themselves through resources that are available. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
But I also think that unless you want to be a doctor or a lawyer or like something that has a certification required, it's going to become a lot more optional.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if the job market will reflect that for a while in terms of like employers will probably still forever put that a bachelor's is required, but there are so many jobs where a bachelor's really isn't required.
Yeah. I wonder what the new requirement is going to be.
I think it's going to be receipts. I think people are basically just going to be like, especially for in the more creative spaces, like just show me what you can do.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Where's your digital portfolio?
Oh, right. Like here's more assessment tests.
Yeah.
Which actually I started doing on our own because we were just like, look, half of the stuff that we do that like who I need to hire for.
Yeah.
I don't know where you could learn this in college.
Right.
You know, I'm like, do you know how to use a spreadsheet? Do you know how to use Notion? Like probably not, but can you figure it out if I ask you a really simple question?
Yeah.
Like use AI, whatever. I don't care.
Yeah.
But if you can answer, I think, assessment tests.
Yeah.
Either assessment tests or your internship or your job history.
Yes.
Yeah.
So much
People
of it's going to be like
job
just
history.
trusted.
Yeah.
Like,
which is what it is now.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that is so much more valuable in some ways, but also can be really exclusionary, obviously.
That's true.
Okay. So you went to college, didn't 100% need to be there.
No. And then I knew that. And so I just fucked around a lot.
She fucked around.
Yeah. I barely passed college because I was like, this is of no consequence to me.
Sure.
And then my last year I was like, no,
I have to figure out how to be a person.
I have to figure it out. And I thought that I could just be an entrepreneur really quick.
Yeah.
And so I actually made a website. I used a template on Illustrator.
Nice.
And I went on Craigslist and hired these like disgruntled IBM workers, engineers, and had them build my startup.
With what capital?
Nothing. My charm. I told them this is totally a need and like this will be awesome. And they just believed me. So they built it and then it was live. It was really shitty. I mean, in retrospect.
But that's kind of like I don't know what it is.
Oh, yeah, no worries.
It's Instacart also. That's yelling at me like, do you want the organic broccoli or not?
Always.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So
you made a shitty website.
I made a shitty website and then it's full circle. It's basically what iLoveCreatives is today-ish. But it was called smashtheworld.net and I made it for my friends who are in advertising because they couldn't afford to go to the portfolio reviews in Chicago, Los Angeles, New York. They could only go to one. So I was like, how about I use the internet and put your portfolio on the internet and then show it to all these creative directors. So that was my big idea.
That is a big idea, especially at the time.
I mean, I thought so too. And then I snuck into like my first portfolio show. All I had was my Toshiba laptop and I showed every creative director. He was like, okay, let me see your portfolio. And I was like, I don't have a portfolio, but I have a business idea.
Yeah.
And like, would you be down to like see this? And they're like, why are you here?
Right.
So got a bunch of weird no's. And then this one guy was like, that's really cool that you built that. And this was the time when they started doing interactive advertising. So he was like, we're building microsites. He's like, I can't believe that you just built this. Like, would you be down to like do some freelance? And so I got my first freelance gig from that.
Wow.
And I was a copywriter for a microsite for Target because I wrote some random stuff on my website. And then after that, because I had then started blasting a bunch of creative directors, which in hindsight is just genius. Because I'm like blasting this website, smashtheworld.net, to all these people. And this one guy in Dallas was like, can you come in for an interview? So I drove to Dallas, got an interview, and then he was like, you are absolutely not qualified for this job. But the fact that you like built this and you seem reasonable. He's like, I think I'm going to hire you. So he's like, what do you do? Are you a copywriter or an art director? And I already tried the copywriting thing and you never called me back. So I was like, I'm an art director. Of course. So then he gave me the job as an art director.
Incredible.
Yeah. And I took it. I was like, I need a job now.
And how long did you do that for?
So then I did that until 2008.
Okay.
So 2 years. Yeah, 2 years. Because I got laid off when, big 2008
when the
recession.
big boom happened.
Yeah. And
Kaboom.
which is like probably happening again.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Anyways.
Everything's great.
Everything's
We've covered a lot of really bright and shiny things. We've covered how Puno's going to die and the imminent doom of our economy.
Yeah.
Tune in for this and other uplifting themes on Mother Life. So throughout this time, you're obviously young. Are you dating? Are you?
Yes.
Tell me.
So I met my husband in college.
Wow.
Yeah. So we were dating, doing long distance. He's a year older than me. I decided not to move to LA with him because I was like, I think I'm mature enough to know I'm immature. So like I need to get there my own way.
Interesting.
So I ended up taking the job in Dallas, and then as opposed to just not taking the job in Dallas and just moving to LA and hoping for the best, I was just like, it's just so raw out there. I just don't know if I can get a job without a job.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it worked out for the best because I did really great at that advertising agency. They had an LA office, and then I was like, can I transfer? And he was like, absolutely. So I transferred in 6 months.
What was it about this young man that really caught your attention in college?
He was cute. He's very cute. And he was funny. But I was on mushrooms when I finally realized that. But it still tracked after.
Yeah. But it was like the universe giving you the big answer you needed.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Right, yeah.
Was he also on mushrooms?
No.
Oh.
Yeah. I was with my best friend from high school, and we were walking around UT campus.
Yeah.
And he just followed us around, and we were just like uberly loud and just like, he's so funny.
I just have like this vision in my head of how this scene is playing out from his perspective, from your perspective. Like in yours, it's just covered in light and like glitter. And you're just like, wow, everything's so beautiful. And he's just like, there's just trash on the floor, and there's traffic noise. Yeah. And there's just like a woman moving in slow motion.
Yes.
Incredible.
Yeah.
But it worked out clearly.
Yeah, it was fine. It was perfect.
And did you guys know, as you move here to LA, first time living outside of Texas, was that a big, obviously that sort of thing's going to test any relationship. You're like, in a new place, whatever, but also like testing yourself. Was it when you moved here, were you like, this is the place for me? Or
yes,
it's so weird here, or both?
It was, that was the other thing. Like I only applied to one college and it happened to be in the same state. And then for some reason, I didn't have dreams of like going to New York or like living abroad. It was weird. Like, I don't know why. I was like, yeah, LA sounds great. Let's just check it out.
Right.
So then I plopped in Los Feliz, and I just didn't like Los Feliz because it was super far from the agency. The agency was in Venice.
Woof, yeah.
Yeah. So then like right when I moved there, 3 months later, we moved to Venice. And it was great.
Yeah.
Like living in Venice when you're 20,
young and unencumbered,
23. Yeah. So fun.
So fun.
And this was before Google got there, because I was in the binocular building. I was in the Google building before Google got there.
She was there before Google, everybody.
There, okay. Before the Whole Foods. I was there. I was there with Elijah Wood.
Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Wait, so what was your husband doing for work then?
He was working at Deloitte.
Okay.
Consulting.
Familiar?
Yeah. Because he was from Jamaica. So he's international student, engineer, and then just ended up getting a consulting gig.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So
not amazing for him. It was a pretty shitty job. But
well, all those jobs, they're a real churn and burn sort of business.
Yeah.
But I think they teach you some good skills
Yeah.
to apply to everything as soon as you are able to leave.
Mark up.
Yes, exactly. 30 to 40% minimum.
Yeah, minimum.
Okay, so you guys are here, you're young, you're living in Venice. At what point are you starting to have conversations? I'm assuming it was some time of like, what might we want a family to look like?
No. No. I mean, I didn't even want to get married because my parents were divorced. So it was like, what is the point of that? Yeah. So I didn't even need to get married. But the only reason why was, I mean, like the rest of my choices have all been just ultimatums. So I had to get married to him because his job either needed him to move or he wasn't going to have his visa.
Stuff.
Yeah. So then we got married. So that was why we got married. It was fine. It was awesome.
Yeah.
We made the most out of it. And then we didn't even talk about family. We were like, maybe. But I was also like, oh yeah, IVF, if, like we'll figure it out. Like they figured it out. Fertility is an easy thing to figure out. Totally is not.
Yeah.
But then, yeah. And then I got fibroids when I was like 36 or something. And then, that was my second ultimatum of like, if you want to have kids, you need to do it now. Like once we get the surgery, and your fibroids are gone.
Oh, interesting. Like that was from your doctors.
That was from my doctor. So then when I was 38, I had the surgery, I had healed. And then I was like, okay, let's have a kid because this is...
If we want to do it, now's our shot.
Yeah, because otherwise I'd have to wait another 2 years if the fibroids came back. And
I see.
yeah. So it was truly an ultimatum.
Wow.
Yeah.
But like from the universe rather than a partner.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. And so did either of you what's his family situation? Together, apart?
Together.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So did you guys have any sort of visions about like what it means to be a parent or going into it? I mean, I didn't. I was just like, I know that ultimately we want to do this, so we take these steps and then we get pregnant. But like my entire pregnancy, I wasn't thinking like, what kind of parent do I want to be? No. Other than reading like Bringing Up Bebe and being like, I want to be French.
Yes.
Other than that,
Bringing Up Bebe was my North Star.
Yeah, formative.
I was like,
I don't do any of it basically.
But I understood the snacks.
Yes.
But I was like, I need snacks.
Yeah.
I don't know how, they didn't tell you how to not do snacks.
Yeah, they didn't.
They just said you don't.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not helpful.
Yeah. I do believe in a 4 p.m. snack. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah.
That was like the one thing that they allowed.
The one. Yeah, that's allowed. No baking, no eating your cupcakes as like right after you baked them.
Yeah, you fucking wait till 4. Your yogurt cake with the container of yogurt and the sugar and the whatever. I mean, it was left a deep impression on me.
I wish.
But other than that, I had no views.
No views. I didn't know. I thought that was enough.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I got this.
And then baby shows up and talk to me. What's it like? Is it rocking your world? Is it?
Man, well, so I thrive on new experiences. I just love new experiences. Just,
yeah,
straight up. So it was fun. And I was like having a great time. I know a lot of people would hate hearing that, but I had a really good like first year.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really fun and it was cool. Second kid was exhausting.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you still have to contend with the first kid.
Yo, they all like.
How far apart are they?
21 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, first kid tricked me and was like, oh, we could do this. We could totally do this. And then, yeah, second kid is a dream. They're both great kids. I just have 2 arms.
And they're also kids.
And they're kids.
There's a limit.
Yeah.
Now, for you and your partner or husband, what's his name?
Daniel.
For you and Daniel, were there things that surprised you about how you were like dividing labor? Do you guys argue about things?
Yeah.
Some people, we don't really argue very much, which is like, I don't know what to do with that.
I don't know what to do with that.
I don't know what to do with that. So what are we arguing about and how are we dividing the sort of labor?
So in the beginning, Daniel is like, he's a great mom. Like he made a breastfeeding and sleep schedule spreadsheet before I did.
Deloitte.
Yeah, Deloitte.
See, I told you Deloitte gives you useful skills for life. There you go.
Yes.
Take that, Deloitte.
Take
Put that,
that,
on a
Deloitte.
postcard.
But then he's not a great sleeper. So I was like, I can do it. I'll be a vampire. And I was like stoked on it because it was like my time to establish what we were going to do. And I was first off, I was caught off guard on taking care of the baby because I was studying about pregnancy so hard.
Yes, classic. Classic. We all did it. Yeah.
And then like when hour 1,
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, I did not study this part.
Yeah.
So, and you don't have time. And then I didn't like when they were talking about wake windows before, it didn't register.
No.
I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. So then when basically day 1, I was just like, oh, whoops. Like I need to get on this. And then I was real confused because there's so many different things, but they all say the same thing. You realize later. And yeah, but I think it was helpful that I was the parent at night because I was able to read on my own and like establish what I wanted. I'm very similar to Sam in that way. Like I just like
So Super Sam.
episode
3 and
oh yeah,
the New Year's episode.
Right.
Yeah.
So I basically did that and then was like, here's my spreadsheet.
Bitch.
And then he knew at that point, oh, you're mama.
Yeah.
Like, and I think it was just becoming like, I've never felt the gender gap before until I became a mom.
Yeah.
And I was just like, it's my way.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Daniel. Thank you for your early contribution.
Right.
With your spreadsheet.
And it was hard because like he's caught off guard, right?
Right.
Waking up. You know, I just had 8 hours of like, I've got a new system here that we're trying and I have no patience to like explain it.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like,
You will do it.
this is it.
Kind regards.
Yeah.
Your tired wife.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah.
And so where are we career-wise when all of this is happening?
Very lucky. So I quit my job in like 27, 28, you know, that time when you're like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah, sure.
About to be 30. So then I quit my job and then around 2018 is when I think our business like finally was going to take over our salaries. We didn't have to freelance anymore. So I had a team.
This is iLoveCreatives.
This is iLoveCreatives. I had a team. I had people I trusted and I was able to take off work and be okay. And
Amazing.
then Daniel was working at that point. He was working on both of our companies. We had another software SaaS business called People Map, and he was helping build that, and he was also helping me run iLoveCreatives.
And how is that to work with your partner in that way while also having young children?
Not great. Like it never was great. It was always, it was always, one of my aunt told me, if you're going to start a business with your partner, you have to like split the roles and have like absolute trust. So we took that tip to heart.
Yeah.
And basically it like would never have meetings with each other, would never
Like a Chinese wall between you. Like,
Absolutely. And like, I mean, I had no idea half the time what he was working on, and he didn't know what I was working on. And we would just do that. And then anytime we would have to talk to each other, it kind of always was like, yeah. And so that's how we did it. And it worked. It was fine. It was totally fine. But it's like not ideal. Like
Still?
We're doing that now. Yeah,
Okay.
still. But it's not ideal. Like right now, we've even talked about how I want him to like do something else because
Like leave.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he knows that.
Yeah.
And he's not necessarily like, this is what I've always wanted to do. But it's
Yeah.
an easy job and it's
Yeah.
great for us right now in our life.
Yes.
But it's not like he doesn't want to do it either. But it's like, what else are you going to do right now that's as easy as this job?
Right.
So
The devil you know
yeah.
is your wife.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But also, like, honestly, this past quarter has been nutso. So my whole plan when Arlo was born and like after I finally got back to it was to have him like,
Yeah.
and he knew that, and that he was helping me do that.
That brr means leave.
But yeah, we just had a shitty quarter,
Yeah.
so I can't do it, and he knows that. So
Yeah.
we're still sticking it together. It's not bad. It's just like, it's just stupid, like tense conversation.
Right. It's not like you're like, there's just like this high energy, flowing, good vibes.
Yeah, and like I don't have
High
to be
adrenaline.
performative
Right.
either. Like I don't have to be like, oh, that was a good idea.
Right.
Like even if I don't know. Like
Maybe you should, Puno. Maybe you should try that the fuck on. Be like, hey, babe, like, thank you so much.
I mean, I know I should say thank you more often for sure.
I said that to one of my friends recently. I forget what we were talking about. And by the way, anytime I say something to a friend, it's because I try and also say it to myself. I am by no means excelling at all of these things, but I'm just like looking your partner in the eye and being like, hey, I really appreciate that you did that.
God,
Could you imagine?
I mean, yeah.
And it like for
I'll
some
try
reason,
it on for size tonight.
yeah, text me, let me know how it goes. But sometimes it can feel so impossible to do, even though it actually costs zero.
Yes.
But for some reason, it's like the heaviest lift because you're just like, you don't deserve that. And it's like, well, they do, and like on some level that they do, and also they're annoying because they're with you all the time. It's just like
when is there a good time to do it?
yeah. But it's free. It's free.
It's
to
free.
Just be like, hey, I really.
Do you do it often?
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Like and it's never been a bad thing.
Yeah.
And like it hasn't become Handmaid's Tale in our house either. Because I think there's that fear, right? Is like if I acknowledge your contribution in some way, then am I diminishing my own contribution? Like there's like a thing where it's just like, you know what? I can acknowledge what you provide. I know what I provide.
Yes.
And it doesn't take away from what I'm doing by just throwing you a fucking bone.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
So saying nice things to our partners, it costs nothing. Turns out it's actually very good for business.
Yes.
The business of the household.
The business
firm.
of the household.
Sometimes it can feel like a heavy lift.
Yes.
So just do it.
Yeah, and I think with the second, there's like no time.
And there's nowhere to hide for anybody.
There's no and this was I knew this. I knew that resentment will build because we're just not talking because we don't have the date night time right now. And then January, this year was crazy.
This has been a bad year.
This has been a very hard year to just talk.
Yeah.
Like you're just freaking out all the time.
Yeah.
January was especially hard.
Are we evacuating? Are we not?
Yeah.
Whatever. Just the world's falling apart.
Yeah.
The market's falling apart.
Everything's So it was probably after like in February when I was just like we need to like do something again because I was in a bad place. And I also read that Miranda July book. I shouldn't have read it.
What is it?
The All Fours book.
Oh no, I did not.
Don't read it.
No.
Never read it unless you're in a very good place.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No.
So anyways, shouldn't have read that. And basically was just like feeling like really spirally. I don't know also if it was hormones because he's not a year yet, you know? So I have no idea what my body is like going through too.
Yes. But I do think there is a feeling of like collective fatigue.
Yes.
Emotional fatigue.
Yeah.
From everybody right now.
Yeah. It was the first time that I felt too tired to do anything.
Yeah.
Usually I'm pretty proactive. I know that I'm the one with more of the emotional needs. So I'm like, okay, can I have this? Or at least I'll get mad.
Right.
And he'll know.
You're like too tired to get mad.
I'm too tired to get mad.
Yeah.
So this whole time he was like, I didn't even know you were this pissed. And I was like, I was so like pissed, but too tired to even.
I had to take a nap. I was so mad.
I was so mad. I just needed to go to sleep. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is really like viscerally being in the thick of it in these early years.
And I honestly like the baby, easy. Even the toddler, pretty not bad. Like
Yeah.
our kids are not hard to take care of. So when people were telling me, oh, 2 kids are hard, it's like, no, like I don't even pay attention to him that much, and he's already walking. Like, it's cool.
Yeah.
But just the relationship is just not there, and then it just more diminished, and you're just tired.
Yes.
And you're just tired.
Yeah.
So, and it was the first time that I was like, whoa, I got humbled.
Yeah.
I got really humbled.
And then when you have those moments, can't you see, or I think about this sometimes of like, oh, I do understand why my parents got divorced. I mean, not the ins and outs necessarily.
Absolutely.
Like, you know, everybody's situation is different, but just thinking like the complexity of this chapter of our life and the moving parts, and how like this is both a time to achieve professionally, and also you want to show up and be there for your kids, and you want to have this good relationship, and it's just like you can't actually do them all at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a tricky phase.
Yeah. And the working part too.
Yes.
The working part, I think, was I didn't feel the need to work with Frankie with the first. I was like, let's enjoy it, blah, blah, blah. But with the second, I was like, okay, I can't be away this long.
Yes.
Like, this is too long now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's becoming detrimental to our business.
Yeah.
So I was like, I gotta get back to just doing stuff. So.
And did that feel good to you? Or like, were you feeling like I have to get back for the business, but I don't feel ready? Or were you like, I feel ready and I need it for the business?
I'm not even thinking. Like, I just need to get it done.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, you were talking about in your last episode where it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not even, this is my dream that I'm working on, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not mad about it.
Yeah.
I'm not like resentful of it. And I'm not like, I just know, like, because it's kind of, it's like routine at this point.
Yeah.
If I don't work on it, it will not happen.
It doesn't move.
It doesn't move.
Correct.
And I know that. And it's like,
the buck stops with you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I almost wish it was as easy as, you know, churn out an episode kind of thing. It's more of like, no, you just need to work on something because you still don't know what's going to like work.
Yes.
So, I mean, in a sense, it's the same. Yeah. But
no, I get that. I totally get that.
Yeah.
So now you're in this challenging spot of everything happening all at once,
but also incredibly optimistic, which is weird.
She's optimistic. She knows she's dying by a shipping accident with the robot trying to save her. Like, but she's optimistic for now. Well, we're at a hard place globally, nationally, personally, in so many ways. So there has to be an upside.
Yeah.
Right?
I saw this meme or like thing on Instagram where it was like showing you a video of like a waterfall, and it was like, this is what the world looks like if you make a good decision. This is what the world looks like if you make a bad decision. And it was the same waterfall. And I was like, that's exactly how I feel a lot of times. And I like, there's this one quote that I always would go back to, because before I would be very extreme about my feelings, and I would be like, oh, the world is over, and oh, the world is so great. Like, it would just be so intense. And now I'm just like, it's not as good as I think it is, and it's not as bad as I'm making it. So
I like that.
It's just chill. We're fine.
We can be chill.
Yeah.
You know what's chill? Taking your fucking kids to Japan.
Oh. That's so intense. Yeah. It's very intense.
I cannot believe you did that.
I know. We did it.
Was it enjoyable?
It was a lot of work. I would say that I liked it. I'm glad we did it. I've been on a long plane ride with my daughter. Like, we went to Bali when she was like 9 months. So I knew how to do it. They were great on the plane, actually. It wasn't the plane. It was when we were there, it was really hard to eat as a family of 4 in the good restaurants.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I went on Fiverr.
Okay.
I'm not Japanese. So I went on Fiverr and I found this Japanese lady who was also a mom, happened to be a mom, and she would help us with all our reservations.
Oh, that's so smart.
Yeah. And like, we wanted to get into like the Ghibli museum, but I couldn't get in, and then she got us tickets. So
wow.
Yeah. Fiverr, dude.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
But of course you knew about that because that's like your universe. You would like, not everybody would think to go on Fiverr to look for something like that.
I love Fiverr. Everybody's always all like shitting on Fiverr, and I'm like, I don't know. I got animated GIFs made of my cat on there.
This is actually, I'm really glad. This is a perfect segue because
Muad'Dib,
your first child.
my first.
How has your cat, who is famous in his own right, in her own right, tolerated being a big sister? Not for her.
And I had a animal communicator tell me already before I had kids that she wasn't gonna be stoked.
Okay.
So she's adopted, so I'm curious if that was her situation.
How old is she now? Ish?
I don't know, like 12, 10?
Okay.
Yeah. We adopted her apparently at 6.
Okay.
How did they know that? I don't know.
I would recommend, if you're like me, listener, and you sometimes just want to relax by watching animals do stuff on the internet, like Muad'Dib's a really strong. Is that from Dune?
Yeah.
Okay. That's like a strong place to go.
Yeah.
To Muad'Dib's just world.
Yes.
Because she's kind of mean mugging you.
Yeah.
But like she's kind of like fierce and a little bit of a style icon.
A little bit.
And through watching her and watching your stuff, I want to live in your brain for a while because it's colorful in there and it's silly in there.
Thank you.
And I do think it takes a certain sense of being possessed in yourself and like knowing who you are to just like put out.
To do goofy.
To be goofy.
Yeah.
Because for so long, I thought I had to be serious to be taken seriously. And it's only now in my later, professional years now where I'm just like, I'm not going to be serious anymore. I don't want to be.
That's great.
But it took a long time.
You
Whereas
don't seem like a serious person.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm really trying not
You
to be
do
anymore.
goofy, for
Thank
sure.
you.
Yeah.
But it took me a long time to be okay with that side. Whereas you, I think, have just always been very comfortable with being goofy.
Filipino?
Do you think?
I think so.
No.
Yeah. I feel like
like I don't think karaoke and like big family parties translates necessarily to goofy.
I think that they are always making fun of you.
Got it.
So you are like, from the get-go, you're always just like, dealing with being made fun of, and not in a mean way.
Yeah, just like a jovial.
It's like factual a lot of times.
Like, you're right, I am weird.
That was funny. And then also, I remember that my family would do a lot of hypotheticals. So when they would tell stories, they would act out the story. So it wasn't just like, let me just tell you what happened once upon a time. It was straight up like, and then he was like, blah, blah. It was they were just very goofy in general.
So that was part of the like family dynamic.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like I was told, not by all members of my family, but many, like, you're weird and like you're pretty loud and
don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's only in recent years where I was like, oh, I actually am not trying to get you people to like me. I'm trying to get me to like me.
Oh, real talk.
Yeah.
That's a nice shirt.
Yeah. Merch coming to a store near you.
I remember like very specifically multiple times people would tell me, it feels like you're on drugs. Like, so many times when I was growing up, people would say, like, in a nice way.
Yeah.
They were like, oh man, you're so weird. Like,
I'll have what you're having, Puno.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's so weird because I'm not on drugs.
But I think it comes from a place of like security.
Yeah. But I never took it as like I'm like fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like I should stop doing it. Yeah. And I think I was just fortunately always surrounded by people who were somewhat confident in themselves. Like I remember in my last high school, our class was probably the most not stereotypical class.
Yeah.
Like they picked me as their like president or whatever. And like it was just like a lot of different like there's a lot of diversity. It was just like a different class, and I was like really lucky to be a part of just like the jocks were fun and nerdy,
right?
And the nerds were like fun and jockey. Like everybody was mixed.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but that's
nice. I mean, I think
was great.
I think why I'm so interested to see, and this is a nice place to end on, I think, is just you are fostering an environment where your kids are going to see you being exactly who you are.
Yes.
And goofy. And like, yes, you might be like, put your toys away yourself.
Yeah.
Which we don't think is strict. It's just enabling.
It's just, yeah.
You're teaching them.
Right.
But they're also going to see like mom's funny and goofy and whatever. And it will be awesome to see what that produces in a kid.
That's
right.
One of my friends who, it also like, I don't know if you've like met some friends who are like, oh yeah, I was a nanny when I was like 18 or whatever. I have a lot of those friends now, and I'm like, that's so crazy. Like, I never knew that about you. It's like this secret thing that you don't talk about.
Yeah.
But so she was a nanny, and she saw Frankie. Like, Frankie is a performer. Like, she will, if Chapel Roan is on, she will just sang. And she was just like, whoa, this girl, she's like, that is a kid who has a mom who doesn't care. Like, not in a, you know, but it's just like,
not judgy.
It's not judgy in his who she is.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
what a gift, though.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking forward to watching these goofy little goofsters.
We'll see.
Grow up and be in the world, and may Muad'Dib raise them right.
I know. Yes, Muad'Dib. They don't even know how good they have it with her.
I mean,
they're just.
I'm not even a cat person, but I'm down for her.
She's a gateway cat.
Yeah, she is a gateway.
She opens it up for you all.
Well, this has been such a treat. I truly can't believe that you got back from Tokyo yesterday and are in the closet today. And I'm excited for everybody to hear what your family eats in the course of a week.
Oh, yeah.
And listen to this episode.
Thank you for having me.
Team, I need your help. If you love it here, please like and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Subscribe to the Substack for full access to this episode's show notes and join the discussion. And of course, follow me on Instagram at Mutha, MUTHA.life for a daily look at all things Mutha. Thanks for listening. Be sure to tune in next week for another Chat in the Closet. This podcast was produced by Mutha Life, music by Ronan Landa. See you next time.